Word.
Oh, I want to send you guys a picture of what I did tonight. That's all.
Does it have to do with your toes?
No, my mom got me a Oscar Mayer hot dog roller, and on the top of it,
Nice.
it rolls dogs, 4 dogs
Yeah.
up top, and then on bottom you can fit like 4 buns under it. And so I made chili yesterday, and today I rolled the dogs for the first time and made chili dogs. I'm really proud of it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah. You
see?
sent a picture of the unit.
Oh, I did. Yep.
But
See?
I'm excited to hear that you got a chance to actually use it because, yeah, man, who doesn't love a good?
Don't click the video, Zoomy.
I won't.
Yeah,
Who doesn't
watch
love a
it later.
good chili dog?
Watch it later because those dogs are
That's
rolling,
cool.
my guy. Those dogs are rolling. You'll see that
I'm
smoke
looking
come
at the
out.
pictures. They look yummy. I want one.
Yeah, did you make
Okay.
extra?
Yeah, I'm mailing them out right now in payment for the pic and the T-shirt.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, that's awesome. I get like a squashed up chili dog.
Yeah,
Man, I
a
can't
bag.
wait. Yeah.
Bag chili
pack it the
dog.
way Zoomy pack stuff and just wrap it up in packing tape.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I yeah.
Don't
I already
even
did.
put
I already
it in
went to
anything.
FedEx
Just
earlier.
roll that dog up in some packing tape and send it this way.
A big old slap of
a
chili.
label on.
Yeah.
And mail it.
Tape
Oh,
will
gosh.
keep it clean.
That's pretty
Man,
good.
I checked out some Body of Filth videos and it's good stuff. I saw their tickets for the American Legion Hall and all that. The drummer does not look like he belongs in a metal band, but I see they're getting a new one anyways. But still, that was really funny.
I
you
didn't
guys see
watch
that?
any videos.
Yeah, I didn't watch
Okay,
any
they got.
videos.
I saw it on their page and like it was they've got one for that Dreading the Day and it's just all them different shows and them hanging out kind of setting up for shows and goofing off and all that kind of like what you do when you got a camera and no budget type deal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Word.
Well, cool. We can talk about them a little bit here right now since that's what we were going to do for the episode. As my favorite Judge Mills Lane would always say, let's get it on. And episode 12. You remember.
Celebrity Deathmatch.
That's right. And even before, man, he was actually a real guy.
Yeah,
so.
I know. The TV judge.
Yeah. Well, no, he was also a boxing referee for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And he was an actual boxer years before that.
Wasn't he a TV judge too?
He was. He was a TV judge for a little bit too, kind of like your Judge Judy's and your Judge Joe Browns. And
that's what I remembered him from.
Yeah, he did that too. So I mean, he was a boxer, he was a referee, boxing referee, he was a TV judge, and he was on Celebrity Deathmatch.
I'll never forget that. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
He allowed everything,
even death.
Man, that show was awesome. They should bring that back.
Yeah,
Ronnie Radke versus Sangwesuggabog.
They did bring it back for a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. That would be a good episode. Sangwesuggabog and how did you say it, Zoomy? Zoomy, you got to say it.
Sangwesuggabog.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. Versus Ronnie Radke. So funny. Oh, yeah. I saw, by the way, on an update on that deal, Ronnie Radke is still pressing it hard, and Sangwesuggabog's lead singer he deleted every tweet. He said, "Let's move on. I'm done with this." And he actually works at a venue that Ronnie, falling in reverse, his band is going to be playing with Disturbed and coming to the venue that the vocalist of Sangwesuggabog works at. So he's like, "Yo, I'm going to be there to beat your ass, dog." Now, I hate to say it, but he's like, "This is dumb. I don't have enough time for this in my day. I'm going on tour in 2 weeks." So he kind of redacted all the statements, and now Ronnie's kind of saying, "You got to publicly apologize," and won't stop like hammering him. And old Sangwesuggabog bowed out of the fight.
Well, my dad would always say, if you can get away from it, get away from it.
Well, he's trying to get away from it. No, Ronnie's biting at his ankles.
Yeah, he's chasing him. That's
so I
what
had
happens.
to tell you, I had to give an update since we discussed it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Ronnie
cool.
the Chihuahua.
That's right.
His nickname, the Chihuahua. He bites your ankles.
A little ankle biter. I hope they work it out.
Yeah, I hope they fight. I do. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's great.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, let's talk about some Body of Filth for a second, and then we got a surprise for everybody. So I don't know. Do you just want to start with the recent single? Was it Dreading the Day?
Dreading the Day it was. It's good. It's solid. It's cool. After talking to them, and they recorded that in their house. It sounds good.
Yeah, I really like the production sound. Now that you mention it, Greg, I 100% agree with that. I thought that they did a real good job of making it sound, like it came out of a studio, just like anybody else. And, once again, I'll just say, to the point of all the independent musicians out there who don't really need the big studio anymore. Like, they are figuring it out. And it's really cool to just see. Sometimes you think, oh my gosh, there's all this music, but that's also the great thing too. Oh my gosh, there's all this music. So awesome. I agree. Production was very, very good. And the music is really good. It's well written. I thought it grooved really good. And I mean, I caught myself listening to it several times just to make sure I could familiarize and understand what was going on and kind of pick it apart. And I really like the bass drops that they do. I like that in a lot of music. I've said that many, many times before. If you got a good like boo sound, man, that's really cool. I always say it's like the movie theaters whenever you hear that sound, and whenever you hear it in the background and it hits just right. I'm sure there's a bad way to do it, but it hits just right. Anyway, they use that in there and I like it. So yeah, overall, real good single. I enjoyed it.
Right on.
What did you think, Brutal Brando?
Yeah, I agree with you all's opinions on the production and the way it hits. Like I like it a lot. One of the things that stood out to me on the single is the vocalist. Like, actually, I like his sound a lot. I believe that it's a new vocalist, a different one from the 2022 EP they put out. But I think I like the direction that they're headed. Between the EP and then the single, like it sounds like an evolution in sound to me. Like there's a little bit of difference in like progression, not as in like progressive metal, but just progression towards evolving the sound and like moving
Yeah, you can tell they're
forward.
like growing as a band, growing
Yeah.
into their sound for sure. I mean, didn't sound like they had really been around forever. They're kind of trying to go on the up and up. And it was just cool hearing he said they're built out that home studio, just like you said, Zoomy. It's really, I respect it a lot when they have the hustle so much that they're literally doing what they have to do to put their music out on the same tier as all the bands that have amazing productions, with a full studio with an engineer at their fingertips.
Yeah,
So,
it's actually one thing, right, to be able to have the equipment and even be able to make good music, but to have the ambition and desire to take it to the next step and actually push it under people's noses in a good way and say, hey, check this out, and really get the exposure that you need, not just locally, but nationally. And yeah, I could hear that exact same kind of evolution and the exact same kind of motivation behind the change from I think the EP was Grounds for the Tortured, and then
Grounds for the Tortured.
And then the single is Dreading the Day, and so that's the 2023 single, and that's the most recent thing that we know of. So, what do you guys want to add?
Well, I was gonna say also, I think it's pretty sick how they've like talking about the Las Vegas fucking beatdown scene, and it's not like a specific. They didn't throw out like, oh, it's just like Body Snatcher. Oh, it's just like this one. It's just like that one. It's like that's our shit. Like we're paving the way to do our own thing in a place like Vegas where it has a pretty well established metal scene. And it's like do your own thing to stay and stick out in your own lane, and that's kind of what you got to do these days to stand out amongst these tens of thousands of bands that are popping up everywhere. I mean, there's a new band every day that you hear of, so it's cool. They're doing something unique. Yeah, it's good, man. I enjoyed the EP. I like the mosh call that starts out in the very first song. It kind of sets the tone for what they're about to do to you for the next probably 30 minutes. But yeah,
Right.
I agree, man. It's I respect it.
Hell yeah. Well put. I completely agree.
Milk and Honey was a good song on the EP. I remember that one and thinking, oh, this is a real good song too. So I enjoyed both of them, and I agree with everything we've said. It's all been good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked Milk and Honey, and I liked Enterprise Elite too.
Right.
Track 5.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, most definitely. Well,
cool.
Yeah, very cool. And what's even cooler is we have the added surprise of being able to interview these guys, and that's what everybody's going to get a taste of next. So I think, we could sit here and talk about them all night, but let's just let them tell us about them,
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, well, here we go. How about a little time with some Body of Filth?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, yeah. This
Going
is
on?
We've been really excited about this for a long time, ever since we kind of started talking with you guys. And I know Brando there's been keeping things, keeping the contact going. And here we are, finally, after highly anticipated, long await.
Yeah, man. We are totally ready when you guys are. We have some clearly Canadian, but I guess it's not on video, so we can't show
Yes.
What flavors?
Well, that's
what flavors did you bring?
We got strawberry and blackberry.
All right, dude. Those are my two favorites.
Those
I
are
know.
the two that you were talking about, and I was like, I got to get them.
Yeah.
So,
That's
do you
fucking
guys
hilarious.
remember it? Do you guys remember Clearly Canadian from back in the day? I think you guys are probably around the same age as we are, or at least I was thinking so. We're
Yep.
80s kids, so
you got it.
yeah. Do you guys remember it being around in that time period? Did you guys grow up in Vegas?
Ryan?
No, I actually grew up in Northern California.
Nice.
Oh, sick. We're at Northern California.
Sacramento.
Cool. I spent a tiny bit of time in Arcata. Fucking wild out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in Vegas since like 99. I grew up in Southern Cali, kind of like, you ever heard of China Lake, the naval weapons base over there?
I have heard of it.
It's where glow sticks were invented.
Oh, sweet.
Sounds
That's
all
very
right.
nice.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, that's where the one dude, Mark Hoppus from Blink 182, that's where he grew up.
Okay.
Ah,
Do they have signs?
There's a sign. It says, like the Ridgecrest sign. It says Ridgecrest, China Lake. The Mark Hoppus sign, it probably just says pussy.
nice.
Well, hey, here in Norman, Oklahoma, we've got home of Toby Keith. So
Yeah, damn right. Yeah, sure as hell do.
that's what's blasted all over our signs all around here. Like you're driving down the highway and you just Toby Keith.
Toby Keith, dude.
Gotta love old Toby.
And then a weed dispensary sign.
Yeah, Toby Keith, weed. Toby Keith, weed.
Oh, yeah. Because Oklahoma just came legal recently, right?
Well, so it
like
was
4 years ago.
2018. Yeah, 2018 was the
So, yeah,
medical. It was medical.
Medical.
Oh,
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that driving around there. They're definitely trying to sell that shit.
Yeah, man.
Mids. It's all mids.
No, there's good weed. There's fire for sure. There's the worst weed you've ever seen in your life and the best weed. I mean, it's all,
Right.
all in between.
Yeah,
Nice.
they have it all.
Because it's just too many producers. They let as many licenses go as people wanted, and ended up being thousands and thousands. So just way
Same
too
here.
many.
Same.
Yeah.
Here.
I think they said that we have like 10,000 or something licensed.
Mhm.
And I think the entire state of Rhode Island maybe has like, I want to say like less than 100 or maybe it's 100 or something.
It is
And
the
so-
size of Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that they're the exact same size, but just going to show you like we have a lot.
Yeah, dude,
a
Arkansas
lot.
started with like 10 dispensaries and 4 grows. Zoomy, you want to get this intro started and we'll start talking about some metal?
Here we go. We are going to be doing an interview with Body of Filth, a band out of Las Vegas, and they are here with us today. And we're so stoked. We've been waiting for a long time to have a conversation with them. And I'm going to turn it over to Scary Greg. I'm going to let him do all the question asking and get the conversation started. But thanks, guys, for joining us.
Right on. Yeah. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely. All right. Well, I will, I guess, just steal the mic there, Zoomy. And so we got Ryan and Joe, right?
Yep.
Correct.
All right, cool. I guess I'll just let you guys introduce yourselves and kind of just explain a little bit of your history with metal and kind of explain what got you into playing metal, if you will.
Yeah. So it's Joe. I've been playing guitar for since I was 12. I'm about 43 now. I've taken on this moniker, the oldest man in Beatdown. So that's kind of cool and kind of sad at the same time. But I started out playing, some punk rock music. Wanted to get a little more technical and play heavier stuff. And that's when I started getting into metal a lot more. Played through the whole metalcore, the uprise, in early 2000s. Went through the deathcore scene a little bit too. I know it's still popular, but it's, kind of staled out for me personally. And that's when we kind of started Body of Filth, and we do this beatdown thing, and and that's kind of a quick thing about me and the metals, punk rock, then metal, because metal's rad.
Mm-hmm. It's a natural transition.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
so I've just been playing, seems like forever. That's pretty much it for me, Ryan.
I started playing when I was 16. My parents bought me a guitar from a pawn shop and just stuck with it from there. First started out playing, hard rock, and then I was like way into grunge for some reason. I don't know why.
Nice.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it seemed like it just kind of, like Joe was saying, all of a sudden new metal and metalcore just showed up, and it was like, okay, I want to do that. So lots of metalcore. And then I got a little bit more in depth. I started liking death metal. Deathcore showed up, and it just kind of evolved. It got heavier and heavier throughout that. And then I moved to Las Vegas from Sacramento in, I think, 2018. And I ended up meeting Joe from buying tickets to go see Body of Filth.
Oh, no shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Met him, and then he's like, hey, I kept hitting him up. I was like, hey, I might want to try to record something. And I know you could want to do something. He goes, hold up. I think our guitar player is moving away, so it might be a spot for you to come try out. So I tried out, and here I am.
Oh, that's sick. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very, very cool.
Well, that's sick. Who would you guys say are like some, like big time inspirations and influences band wise?
Wow. So that's wild for me personally.
Same here.
Again, so I grew up just listening to punk rock. Like right now, if you kick on my Spotify, you'll find mostly punk rock. Limp Bizkit, of course.
Hell yeah.
Always Limp Bizkit on there. And so all the heavy bands I really listened to, like going through the metalcore stuff, was of course, As They Lay Dying, Kill Switch Engage, Parkway Drive, that kind of stuff. Getting even heavier, I started getting into Black Dahlia Murder a whole lot. And then I started branching out from there, personally, just like, all right, so there's Born of Osiris, and then you have these newer bands, Body Snatcher and shit coming out. So all these bands really give me a new idea of what these younger people are doing, younger than I am anyway, and these new ideas and these new sounds coming out, which, I'm a musician, so I'm going to learn from all this shit and try to make our own thing. And that's kind of how this came to be. It's just like a mesh of everything for me, from what I've learned punk rock wise to some of the heaviest stuff I've played before, and just threw it all together and made our own thing.
Yeah, so, absolutely sick.
Ryan has a ton of different influences.
No, God. So I'll agree with him on all the metalcore stuff, Parkway Drive, Unearth, and stuff like that. Yeah,
Unearth. Absolutely.
One of my favorite.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then in Sacramento, there's a lot of access to death metal and like death. Let's see, Gent, and like progressive death metal, stuff like that.
Right.
But the first band I think from my old music scene that really got me wanting to play was a band called Conducting from the Grave.
Oh, I know
they
exactly.
were kind of
I know them. Absolutely.
Yeah, they were like a metalcore band, and I've known the guitar player for a little bit. He's in a band now with my buddy Cameron called Wastewalker.
I know about Wastewalker. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cam Rogers.
Yeah, Cam Rogers.
Yep.
And then my buddy Jared, which I think one of you guys knows, he's from Rivers of Nile.
Yeah, I know Jared real well.
Yeah, he was in a band called Flub, and Flub
Michael
was badass.
I know Flub.
Yeah, Eloy. Yep.
It's wild. The music scene is just so.
Yeah, and
we
Joe
all know each other.
Yeah, Joe knew somebody that I knew through that, and now it's like you guys know people that I know too. So it's like we know.
It's crazy. I went out to the Bay Area Death Fest out there, and I ended up just going solo. I was doing photography for Decrepit Birth at the time, and flew out there, just kind of talking with them. Like, yeah, why not? I'll get a room and hang out and party for the weekend. And I met Jared that weekend, and Tim from Wolf King. I don't know if you know him at all. But those guys, and Michael and all the dudes and all those bands, Zenith Passage, they just like took me in for the weekend and were so like hospitable and like kind and let me just kick it with all those dudes. We just got high and hung out for 3 days, and since then it spawned like all these different relationships
Oh,
from
yeah.
all over the country. So that's actually how I met Jared, and it's cool. We're gonna try to get them on here to do an interview probably after
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys actually, and maybe talk about the chaos and carnage.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, Jared is such a busy guy. I used to have a podcast, and I tried to
crazy.
get him on. He was like always busy, going across the world and everything.
It's nuts. That's why I'm trying to catch him or Brody at the right time.
Yep. But yeah, there's
That-
just a lot of the Bay Area death metal scene and the Sacramento death metal scene is kind of pretty sick nowadays.
No, absolutely.
But moving to Vegas, I met the oldest grandpa in Beatdown, and he brought me back after 10 years, teaching me how to play fast again and feel the love for it again. So
Sick.
it's been a wild ride.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
awesome.
I guess on that note, Joe, how did Body of Filth form?
So real quick backstory. There was a band that our just recently left drummer Earl. We had this band called Gods of Hate. So it was a more deathcore band. Everything was going really cool with this band. We parted ways with some members, and some of the members kind of did some shady shit, which caused the band to have to leave our name. So we left the name. We started a new thing, just kind of taking on the same material under a different name. And it kind of just didn't feel right for us. It was not like what we wanted to do anymore. We kind of had the sour taste of what happened with the Gods of Hate thing. So we're like, fuck it. Let's scrap all of that stuff. Let's just play what we want to play and have more fun with it than trying to really please other musicians. You know how like there's some musicians that just get in this mindset, like I need to play to please other musicians, not even the crowd anymore. It's pleasing musicians, so we were like, fuck all that. Let's just play what we want to play. Doesn't matter if they like it or not. We're going to have fun. And that's where we just started playing this heavy stuff, throwing in whatever we wanted to throw in. Was it a thrash fucking riff? Let's throw the thrash riff in. Is it, a death metal riff? Let's throw those death metal riffs in there. And so we started jamming that together. It was, Earl and I, and we kind of took on another friend who was the previous guitarist. His name was Jason. And we just started this Vegas fucking beatdown thing. We're like, all right, well, let's just roll with it. And it kind of just molded together seamlessly, very smooth.
Sick.
Everything fell into point, like just where we wanted it to. So the material came up really quick. And then, and like Ryan mentioned earlier, Jason moved away. He had come and seen us before, and he joined the band, and it's just kind of worked out in that manner. We had a different vocalist who we tracked the EP with. We parted ways with him with just, it's kind of like personal issues that he couldn't make it anymore. So we just parted ways with him. And now we have our current vocalist. His name's Mike, aka Fun Dip. What's up, Fun Dip? And
What's up, Mark?
And he's the one that's featured on Dreading the Day. So that was the most recent release we did.
Yeah.
And so that's him featured on that one. And going forward, he's a part of our band. Drum wise, Earl's gone out of the band. He's been an original member, the whole time. But everything going forward, we have somebody in mind. We're just waiting for him to arrive in Vegas on his move from Alaska. Chuck. If you hear this, Chuck. He's great. And then, so we're looking forward to what's going to happen in the future with us. He's a good drummer. Right now, our band is a really solid band as far as, the material goes. We have some really good stuff coming out going into this year, and we're really excited about it.
Oh, kick ass. That's awesome. That actually kind of segues right into this. You guys keep talking about the Las Vegas beatdown scene, and Brandon was asking earlier, what exactly is the Las Vegas beatdown scene? So explain that to us a little bit. You can maybe rep some other bands. Let us know like just exactly what goes down
The
in
Las Vegas beatdown scene is Body of Filth, actually. No,
so that's awesome.
I guess we could lump some people in like Slaughterhouse Effect and Asylum of Ashes and our buddies Teach. Not the biggest beatdown band, but they are heavy as fuck.
Right.
They're all good friends.
Yes, all these bands that are out here, most of them. Not that I don't mean similar in any way. Everybody's different. They all have great sounds. These are all our friends. But the most beat down thing, I think right now in this town, not to talk about us, but we're probably like right there. There's not a whole lot of beatdown bands out here. There's a lot of hardcore bands or a few hardcore bands that are really good that kind of touch that category. We have some friends in Take, and they do this really hardcore thing, but some of the riffs are really, kind of beatdownish. You throw down when you hear those, some of the stuff they put out. But the scene out here for that, it's when bands come through, so when bands come through, you get the one-off band that can fit that bill. And that's kind of where that part of the scene comes from. So we try to create more of this with the Vegas fucking beatdown slogan and, put that out there. And it's like, hey, maybe we can start something, and who knows? And kind of that's where we're at. We've only played a few shows here in Vegas, but everybody seems to kind of like us, which is cool.
Always
good reception. Yeah, sick.
Excuse me. Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
Oh no, you're cool, man. You're cool. Shows. That's another topic I wanted to ask you guys about. I think I saw you guys on some different bills. What are some good shows you guys have played? Like with maybe bands you've been stoked on sharing the stage with.
All right, the most recent show we played was with Paleface.
Oh hell yeah!
Crown Magnetar.
Whew.
Well, who else was on that bill? I know Victims was on it, but we don't talk about that band. There was one more, I can't remember. Enterprise Earth.
Nice.
And then earlier in the year, we opened for Fallujah, Enterprise Earth, and God, it was so long ago.
Yeah, I know. But then, then we did the Rivers and Nile show.
The Rivers and Nile show. That's the show that I met them at before I was even in this band. That was really cool.
So those are notable,
Yeah. Oh, there was also the American Legion show that you guys played before me.
Oh, yeah.
That was Left to Suffer.
An Angel Maker. So
so you guys have definitely played shows with the heavyweights, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You guys are both guitarists, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys play?
Joe likes gear.
I love gear. So I love my Agiles. My Agiles are amazing. So I mostly play those. I run a Kemper right now with I've kind of been profiling the same EVH 5150 head that I already have, but I like that sound, so I use it through my Kemper because I can tune it a little bit more. Then we have, for me, I have we both were sponsored by Arachnid Cabinets. Fucking Arachnid is amazing. I have a 412 with vintage 30s in it. It's fucking amazing. So the setup sounds awesome, just as it is. One Kemper, this stack, my Agiles, totally tits. Ryan's got, Arachnid cabs as well. His are loaded with some different speakers, Swamp Things and Man Wars, I believe.
They're more on like the rhythm side of like heaviness.
Yeah, so it's a combination between what we're running really gives us this rich, full sound with this cut through with like the mid. You have this MIDI cut through, but then you also have the scoop mid sound, and it's just really rich and it's nice. And Ryan as well, he's running a Kemper now, but we're currently working on dialing that in.
Sick. Are you guys all local to Vegas? Is everybody there? I know you said the drummer, you're working that out here soon. Are you guys able to all jam in person, or what's your songwriting process like? Are you all actually sending each other files, or are you guys actually jamming in person?
It's a little bit of both. If any of us have an idea, we can record it with our phone, send it to the group chat, and we listen to it. But we like to get together because we're not too far away from each other, and we just do stuff here at Joe's house because that's where the recording setup and the drums we can record with and everything is. It's also our practice spot.
Have you guys any plans to tour in the future?
Yeah, everything's always possible. We did a small little tour a couple of months back, just doing some small towns, and it was a blast. We took 3 other bands that were our buddies here, and we just decided to go on a trip and have a good time.
Yeah, that's sick. Ryan, what year did you join the band?
It was a year ago.
Yeah. About a year
in
ago.
November. Last November was a year.
Okay, cool. So I guess this question will kind of pertain, to Joe a little bit more, but probably to you too. just what do you think about the challenges of playing metal in the post-pandemic world? And what was it like during Corona during that time? Were you guys able to actually still play together, or did shows completely die out in Vegas altogether?
The shows totally died out. So our dynamic changed a little bit. Well, not dynamic. Our practice schedule, but it affected the band a lot because we couldn't get together. Some people kind of didn't want to get together just because it was just so much out there in the news, and
Nobody
everybody's
not
like,
knowing what to deal with.
yeah, you're just not knowing what to do, what was going to happen. You get sick, and then who knows what the fuck was going to happen. So it really just kind of put a halt on things for a while, just backed up a lot of stuff. And then, of course, no shows were coming through here at all. Writing kind of just got, for me, I just didn't want to do it. It was just like, oh, I can't get together with anybody.
Yep.
Sure, I have all this time on my hands, but I'd rather just rather do other things because I'm not going to be jamming, and who knows when I'm going to be jamming again, So it took it took a toll on us, as a band. I think going into Body of Filth, it was just coming out of the pandemic where some of the previous members had a big issue with it, and that's why they're no longer with us.
There you go.
We just had to move on, and I don't know, we just kind of built from there. It's different now, though. Like, even going to shows is different. Some people don't want to have the contact that they did before. People, they throw down, but you can tell they don't throw down like they used to throw down, try to get in there and sweat on each other. Some people just don't want to be a part of that anymore. Like, oh shit, I might get sick. And every once in a while, I'll still see people wearing masks at shows. It's like, it's just different times, I guess.
No, you're right. I mean, it really has changed the landscape of shows. I mean, absolutely.
You guys are out in Texas, right?
Oklahoma, actually. Brandon's
Oklahoma.
in Texas.
I'm in Texas. I'm in Houston.
Okay, so how did your guys' scene get affected with all that?
Well,
Go ahead,
in
Brandon.
Houston, I know it died out a bit here, but I mean, for full transparency, I had a girl, like a daughter, in 2019. So that July, so she was an infant right when like COVID hit anyway. So my life kind of ground to a halt as far as going out and having any kind of experiences with shows right before COVID anyway.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. So
my daughter was born in 2019 as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, it feels like it's back to normal here now. I mean, I think the last show I went to, one of them was 200 Stab Wounds and Frozen Soul here.
Sick.
And dude, I mean, there wasn't even a foot between people. Like it was wall to wall people. It was a lot of shit. People were just, I mean, it was nuts. It was like pre-pandemic for sure. Like you couldn't tell anything. Yeah, it seems pretty like what I remember from shows anyway out here.
Yeah, you can't get any closer than those people.
Where a lot of people were kind of like, what pandemic?
Yeah. It's like the younger crowd is like that. I don't even know anymore. I was going to say, like, the younger crowd is like that, where they just don't care. But now the younger crowd is also the crowd that actually really cares. So it's really weird. It's like the older crowd, we're here, we're out there having fun. It's like, all right, well, if you get sick, you get sick, and some of us don't want to, but I don't fucking know. That makes no fucking sense in the
planet. From what Brandon was saying though about it being back to normal, that is more from the spectator point of view. I imagine still from the band's point of view and all the bands out there touring, I hear all kinds of stuff about how it's still way different today than it was pre-pandemic, just with working with the different venues. And I know a lot of venues are cutting into merch sales now.
I was just about to say, fuck merch cuts.
Yeah, no kidding.
Luckily, we haven't had much of that with our shows. Like, I don't think at all.
Yeah, not yet.
The venues have been cool, and at least not charging the local bands, maybe the touring bands, which is kind of fucked still, but the local band's the one that actually needs to make the money,
Yeah, absolutely. I have been seeing it more and more, Zoomy. You're right. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining on Facebook and Instagram and all that. It's fucked up. They shouldn't do that at all.
Oh yeah, man. Fucking Ronnie Radke blaming, talking about all that shit, man. He wants to fight Sangwesuggabog.
Yeah, we were just talking about the fight between Sangwesuggabog and Ronnie Radke. That's so funny.
That is.
We were discussing that earlier, and I was reading them all of the tweets. It's getting pretty dirty. They're digging deep now.
Hey, May 17th. Come on, Sangwesuggabobs. Fucking beat the Radke.
Yeah, he'll be smashing him.
Not so rad.
That's so fucking
That's
funny.
funny as fuck.
Hey,
Hey,
on that note,
side note, Ryan's over here swigging down this strawberry, clearly Canadian, like
so
nobody
good.
knows.
Brandon,
It's crisp and fresh, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell
Yeah.
them about how crisp and fresh it is.
Oh, it's so crisp and so fresh.
It's clearly Canadian.
Clearly.
Brandon, do you want to segue into our one advertisement of the week?
Do it.
Oh man, Zoomy's better at them.
Yeah, no, you're okay, Zoomy. Go ahead.
All right. Now you got to put me on the spot, but so everybody, there's this new thing out. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Clearly Canadian, and it is the shit. And all I can tell you about it is up north, beyond the realm of warmth, there are these things called icebergs, and Clearly Canadian catches the drips off of the icebergs. And that's why it's so cool and refreshing. And Brandon, every day, he's driving in Houston for hours, trying to warm up the planet.
Right.
So that we can get just a few more drips of Clearly Canadian, refreshing,
Nice.
crisp, delicious Canadian drink.
Perfect.
Sometimes I go to bed with my truck idling.
It's not like purple drink, you know. It's better than purple drink.
It's
It's clearly Canadian.
All right. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
it is.
And once again, if you're listening, Clearly Canadian, send us some love.
And body of filth. Send body of
and
filth
body of
love.
filth some love too. I guess I'll get back to my list of generic questions I have here written out. You guys have any shows upcoming that you're going to be on, or thinking about trying to get on, or anything? Shows you want to plug?
So there's some shows that are coming around here that would be cool to get on, but we have our first local headliner here in Vegas on Saturday, March 30th at American Legion Post 8. It's an all ages show. It's $13, $15 at the door. We deliver tickets all day long.
All day.
And
There you
the
go.
There you
lineup,
go.
it is us, Body of Filth, Asylum of Ashes, Slaughterhouse Effect, Teach, Color in the Dark, and
Punker than your mom.
Punker Than Your Mom. So those guys
Nice.
got added. So a little side journey from that. There was a local band on our show originally. I'm not going to say their name just because there seems to be some drama with them. But they were a local hardcore band in the hardcore scene. We brought them onto the show, and they fell into a little bit of controversy, if you will.
Accusations.
Accusations. So they are no longer on the show. So we had the promoter added Punker Than Your Mom. So they're like a punk band here in town. And they're newer, and this is their first show. So cool for them guys.
Bunch of young kids.
Yeah, a bunch of young kids.
See a bunch of young kids playing some punk music.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it'll make a little
Awesome.
diverse type of lineup, a little punk opener. Color in the Dark is like a metalcore-ish, a heavier metalcore-ish band. And they're really good. So they're coming along on this one. And then we have Teach, Slaughterhouse, and Asylum of Ashes. So those guys were on our little mini tour that we did. It was the Small Towns and Beatdowns tour earlier or at the end of last year. And we're all doing this show locally together to try to bring up this Vegas fucking beatdown scene.
Right. Give something to the kids to go see. Like, because we usually play 21 and over shows, and it'd be nice to get a play for an all ages crowd.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's badass.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt, but I actually was thinking, whenever we were growing up here in Norman, Brandon was here. and there was a pretty good metal scene at the time, and there was a lot of shows played at the American Legion here in Norman, Oklahoma. And so you guys keep saying that, and it actually takes me back in time. And you talk about the you say $13, $15 at the door. I'm like, man, those are metal show prices. Whatever happened to metal show prices? You know, like I'm always spending $30 now, you know, to get into a metal show, I feel like. So way to go for, you know, still rocking out the local scene and making sure that, you know, you can still attract new people.
Hell yeah, man.
Way to represent the American Legion too.
You were a major, American Legion post 88?
In Norman, Oklahoma?
In Norman, Oklahoma.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're 8 and they're 88.
We looked it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was like, damn. What do you know about Norman? Okay.
I know what Google knows.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is everything.
You're a genius.
That's awesome. Well, my bad. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. I was checking out Dreading the Day earlier. That's a single you guys released in 2023, correct?
Right. Yep.
And you said that as your new vocalist on it.
Yeah. So that's Fun Dip on vocals on that one. That was that's the first track that we did with him. All the recordings we did over here in the studio. So at my house, I'm just learning how to do all of this stuff, and we decided to invest in our own recording gear versus paying somebody else to do it. So that way we can just kind of make it the way we want it. And sure, it could be a little better, but I'm learning. And this is the way we wanted to go, all DIY from the bottom to the top. And that's kind of how we've been as a band, is DIY, like through everything. You know, we fucking manage ourselves. We record ourselves. We book all these shows ourselves. You know, there's nobody else out there other than us 5, just, you know, doing this band.
We design our own merch and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I respect it. Is that going to be a single that's kind of going towards a new album you guys are going to record?
We aren't totally sure yet. So it might be a one-off single, or we might do a little remastering of it and then add it to the next set of songs and put it out on the next EP. But most likely it'll probably end up as just one of those one-off songs.
Right. Well, sick.
Well, kudos on the bass drops. Sorry. Kudos on the bass drops, man. I love those, like the fullness that a lot of the newer metal sounds that I'm hearing, you know, like a lot of that boom sound, something like you normally hear in a movie theater whenever they're doing that sound test, but it's like a big bass drop and just adds an extra layer of fullness to it. And I was noticing that specifically with the new single. So that popped really nice.
We love the last one that just goes boom, 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 boom. It's like we've never heard anybody ever do that, so we're like, why not?
Oh yeah. So with that said, I know you said EP mentioning, so you guys are planning on doing some new recording in the future?
Definitely. We are currently working on the next single, you know, that will be on the EP that we're working on, but that'll be coming out. Given our drummer situation, we're making a little adjustments, but hopefully that'll be released sometime in March. I'm hoping, like right before the show, kind of like here's a new song, you know, promotion thing. This song is called Horse Incinerator. So look out for that.
It has nothing to do with incinerating horses at all.
Okay, nice.
It was actually we took the name from a cameo video of Trevor Stranad talking to our bass player.
Yep.
And he said, you should form a band called Horse Incinerator. So we're like, this song was originally made by the bass player. So we're like, why don't we just call it Horse Incinerator for Trevor?
And, that's great. I'm all about that.
So yeah,
that's awesome. Badass. Rest in peace, Trevor. Absolutely. That's a great story for a name of a song.
Quick side note to that, speaking of Black Dahlia, so as a grower, I'm a breeder as well, and I bred this strain, and I call it Statutory Ape, and
nice,
fucking phenomenal. And I have friends growing it, and yeah, it's really cool. So
send me a cut. I'll get it going here in Oklahoma. I need a cut of that.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that later then.
Yeah, we can do something with that too. Well, sick guys. You got any? What are the band's goals for 2024? Anything kind of more immediate, I guess that would be, and then also what can we expect from Body of Filth in the future?
So immediate goals this year is to kind of get out there more outside of Vegas. We like playing here. It's our hometown, but you only play to the metal music scene so many times, and you've played to everybody in the scene. So we're not doing ourselves any better by continuing to play here all the time. So let's get out of town.
Right.
So our goal would be to get out of town. We want to try to hop on some festivals this year. We haven't played any real festivals yet, so that would be really cool for us.
We actually have something in the late April. We have a fest in Sacramento called Metal for Marcos. It's a memorial fest for one of my friends. My buddy Tyler, the vocalist of Greybush, he puts it on because his friend Marcos passed away about 5-6 years ago. And he was huge in our music scene, and he wanted to dedicate a festival to him. So we're going to actually get a play for them this year.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So so hit the festivals, hit a few out of town shows, release hopefully 2 EPs if we can get on it. But yeah, release a couple of fucking EPs this year, play them shows, and and then we are going to be at NOM if anybody's going to NOM convention.
Cool.
So that's in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We'll be there at the Arachnid booth. We're going to perform, I believe, Friday. Ryan and I will be playing at the booth. I'm not sure on the time yet, but if anybody's going to be at NOM, stop by the Arachnid booth and see us.
Oh, that's sick. I've always wanted to go to NOM. That's really cool, guys. Congrats on that.
Yeah, very good.
Well,
It's my first time.
Cool. Yeah, you had never been there before?
Never been there before. Always wanted to go, and now I get to go as an artist, which is even more.
That's super sick. Congrats on that.
That is.
Yeah,
seriously,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's all the questions I had on my list, guys. Zoomy or Brandon, did you guys have anything else you wanted to ask them while we got them on the mic?
I know Brandon had a question.
Did I?
Yeah. Brandon.
Zoomy, you're going to have to fill us
was
in
it
on
the
that
toes
thing.
or fingers?
What?
Brandon.
Ball sacks for toes or dicks for fingers?
No.
Something like that. I can't remember what it was.
I do.
Spit it out, Zoomy. Ask it.
He said, Brandon wants to know, which way does the hammer hang?
Oh,
man. You know what's wild? That's kind of a common question. Like people ask Body of Filth. I don't know why. Everybody's like, Body of Filth, which way does it hang?
That is awesome. Brandon, you knew, Brandon.
It kind of depends on how I wake up, I guess. Whichever side it falls on when I wake up is the side it stays on until later.
there you go.
Nice.
Oh man, that's great. That's so perfect.
We had 2 rights and a left.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like we're all left.
Sounds like bad car direction.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh god damn it.
Oh, settle down, bro.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is. So sorry, I had to make sure and throw that in. Brandon kept saying that every time we were talking about the questions that we were going to be working on and everything, just getting ready for today.
You can't joke with Zoomy. It becomes real.
I think we're going to.
We actually like.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
The questions all day long.
Well, man, we really, really appreciate you guys taking the time tonight, this evening, to just hang with us a little bit, have a conversation, and just talk about some metal. Like I said, we've been super stoked to get a chance to chat with you guys and get a chance to know you guys. Like for us, yeah, the music is one thing, but the community and the relationships that you kind of form along the way. I've always had really, really good experiences meeting people in the metal community. And it's, I guess, where I feel the most comfortable. And so, yeah, thank you guys for all that you do to spread that to not just people our age, but also the younger generation, and just keep people rocking out to metal. It's our passion, and we can see it you guys too. And we really, really look forward to everything that you guys have to put out going forward. And we're just super stoked to, get a chance to help promote you guys, and, get a chance to really dig into some metal some more and meet some new friends. And yeah, it's been great.
Fuck yeah, man.
Hell
We
yeah.
really appreciate you guys having us on.
Definitely hope we can come out to Texas and Oklahoma
Hell yeah.
and play for you
Yeah.
guys.
Come play in
Come on
Tulsa.
That'd be
out.
great.
And if you ever come to Vegas, who
Let
to
us
hit
know.
up. You let us know that you're here.
For sure.
Absolutely. We'll toast some
Yeah,
Cleveland Canadians
definitely.
on the strip.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll take you aunt, show you the Las Vegas nightlife.
It's scary.
Yeah,
I've never
been.
been.
It's terrifying. Oh, it can get scary.
Right
Brandon
on.
used to live there.
We really appreciate you guys, dude. Thank you so much for having us on and giving us the opportunity to, get our name out there a little bit more. And hopefully we helped get the metal out there a little bit more for you guys.
And hopefully
Thank you very
many
much.
more years for the metal block.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Just
Thank
getting
you, guys.
started.
Yep.
So clearly Canadian. Remember the metal block and Body of Filth.
Send us some.
Send it.
Plug
Yeah.
it. Plug it.
Plug it.
Well, cool,
All
guys.
of
Thank
it.
you very much. Really appreciate everything, guys. And I think that's all we had, right? Zoomy, you want to
Yeah.
send it off?
Yeah, that's it. So for everybody out there listening, we're going to go ahead and close out the episode tonight. And we thank you for joining us. The Metal Block, over and out.
Later.
Later, guys.
Later.
Later, blockheads.